Hello and welcome everybody to 1973. 1973, Ben Hogan came out with this. Johnny Miller won the US Open, Jack Nicklaus won the PGA Championship. I mean, it was a pretty exciting year. You know what they didn't have in 1973? A million things, iPhones. No, but what I want to talk about is robo screeners. I hate these robos that you call up, like pharmacy. Last week, kids were all sick, strep throat. I call up the pharmacy, right? And you get these robo decision trees. What can I help you with? If you want store hours, say store hours. And so I'm just like, prescription pickup. I'm like, oh, I can help with that. And so I go through and I verify all the information, the birth dates, the names and everything. And then finally it's like, and this is your prescription. And I was like, yes. And they're like, you can pick up your prescription anytime, up until whatever 5th day of whatever. And then you cannot pick it up later than that. I'm like, but is it available now? And they were like, and the machine's like, oh, do you have another question? So it starts at the beginning of the decision tree. And I'm like, so instead of prescription pickup, I was like, prescription availability. It's like, oh, you want to know if your prescription's available. So it takes me through the whole decision tree again, the same name, the same birthday, everything. And then finally it's like, oh, there is no prescription. What do you mean there is no prescription? You just barely read it to me. You barely read the prescription for that same person like 3.5 minutes ago. And then it's just like, finally I'm just like, and I'm talking this all to the robot. And the robot's like, give me a moment. Let me connect you with a pharmacy expert. Thank you. So finally I get on the phone with a person. They're like, yeah, I'll be ready in 15 minutes. Thank you. 5 seconds, what it could have taken, and then we went and picked it up. But I wonder if it's worth going back to 1973 because we have a time machine in the trunk of our car. So let's get this on the review table and have a closer look. So I wanted to compare the 1972 to the 1973. Obviously apex here on the sole side of the aft portion of the club. And you'll notice it's more of a split muscle than a flange. So the 1973 up here is more of a flanged muscle, where this is more of a split muscle, the 1972 version. Either way, just wanted to do a quick comparison so you could see the progression here in the Ben Hogan lineup. All right, we have medallion, Ben Hogan on a matte finish. So this is not going to be a chrome, glossy, shiny chrome finish here on the aft portion. And on the sole, you can see it kind of expands out to this flanged portion right here. Apex by the heel, and the iron number by the toe of the sole. Lovely. You can see the profile right here. That ever so small flange that they have running the length of that heel profile. And at address. Very clean, no nonsense, pretty compact, squared off blade right here. A little finicky up here by the hosel. Speaking of the hosel, we spin around, you can see the knurling all the way around. You can see that the shaft is pinned right here. Lovely. It looks like I don't see a pin on this side, just on this side. And the ferrule has the serial number on it. It looks like a silver pattern on that stepped shaft. I think this is a 4 stiff flex. So this is Hogan Apex 4 is the flex. And I put this on here just to remind me of the year. And we have an aftermarket Royal grip. So very clean looking blade, exactly what we expect. I'm not seeing any offset there. Let's get this out on the simulator or range and see how it does. We'll look at this 1973 Ben Hogan 6-iron Apex. I mean, it looks amazing. There's the slightest amount of offset there. Is that? It's pretty close. If there is any, it's minuscule. But I don't see, there's nothing offensive about this. There's kind of some red here, red on the ferrule. So, should be okay. I mean, the grip is still fine. Royal grip here. Obviously been re-gripped. Let's see what comes out. Take a normal swing here. I felt a little high on the face, toey maybe. The usual shape. Oh, so distance I'm looking for is 165 to 175 carry. On a perfect hit, that That's a fine miss hit. I'm going to take one more like that, and then I'm going to try to work the ball. Yeah, 171. Oh my goodness. That's exactly perfect. All right, now it comes to my skill here. I'm going to add a little bit of loft and try to fade one. So I'm expecting to lose some yardage. Usually these go about 155. Felt like a miss hit, slightly off. Yeah, heely and low. So I lost some carry, 148. That was just me. If I want to hit one straight, generally, I go like this. I think that I pulled that one. Yeah, that was not good. I mean, it's a Hogan. I mean, I have no complaints about it. Let's try to center, last one, try to center stripe one more time. A little thin. But I love the feedback. I love the way it feels. I love the workability and the distance I get on it. And everything, no complaints. Let us know your thoughts, memories. Ben Hogan, Apex, 1973. So this feels like a Ben Hogan blade. It feels lovely, it feels good. I have no complaints about it, okay? It's predictable. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. There's two sides to my personality, and there's infinite people, personalities, and they're going to be changing, right? So there's an infinite number of opinions that are going to be out there. But the two sides of me, okay? The first side is the let me improve at golf. And this is the weaker side, okay? This is not the dominant side of my golf game. And I understand intellectually, if I want to be good at golf, I need to stick to the same equipment, learn that equipment like the back of my hand, become very proficient at it, and just practice, practice, practice with that same equipment. Then there's the other side of me, which is, let's call it the consumerism side. The consumerism side of me, started at a very young age where you're taught by watching TV and Transformers and with the commercials on, it's like, buy this, the Kool-Aid man bursting through things, And I want to try different sets. I now have lots of sets. I'm like, I want to play this one week and then this the next week and then this the next week. And I'm always looking for the next fun thing. I understand it might not be better, just fun. I just want to try different things. Variety, right, is the spice of life. And so what bothers me is the golf community, for obvious reasons, only caters to the consumerism. We're coming out with a new model every 2 years. We're going to crank the lofts. We're going to make them longer. We're going to change them. We're going to make longer, like the shafts are going to be longer. Longer as in they're going to crank the lofts longer. As in everything they can do to make these long and give this like idea of one up on the competition. We're going to make them look different. We're going to do this design. We're going to make a hollow body. We're going to do this, and they just keep throwing you change. Or if you wanted to stick to the same set, give it 5 years, it's going to be different. Give it 5 more years, it's going to be very different. Oh, well, I have my old AP1s, Titleist. Can I have? No, you discontinue that whole model line. Okay, well, there's that. What I want to see, Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade. I want to see you make one set, okay? Pick one. The 790s, the 770s. You make the 770s for the next 30 years and just say, hey, this is our flagship line for good golfers who don't want change. And then you can mix and match and you can make all sorts of M97s and you can come up with all sorts of numbers and you can make 15 different sets of clubs every year. But have one, please, that stays the same, just for consistency. Well, they won't sell. I understand that. But there will be a certain group of people that really love them, that become really good at golf, and they will become, it's like a halo car for, Porsche, for like a car manufacturer. Speaking of car manufacturers, Tesla Model S. I saw one recently in a showroom. I'm just like, didn't this come out 10 years ago? And the sales rep was like, yeah, it's aged. That's an example of things that don't sell. All right, so get a Mustang Mach-E. All right, I didn't say that. I'm excited to read your thoughts about the Ben Hogan 1973 irons. They are very lovely. They feel amazing. They're very capable irons. I would happily play a set of these. Again, there's so many interesting Ben Hogan sets. I don't know if this is at the top of the list, but for the 70s, I'm having trouble thinking what I'd rather have. I'd rather have this flanged look rather than the split muscle back of the 1972, so at least it beats this 1972 out, in my opinion. Excited to read your thoughts, comments, jokes. As usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I'd like to let you know there's another way you can support this channel, and that's by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I am The Vintage Golfer.